In the golden age of the pharaohs, amidst the sprawling sands of time, a legend was etched, not in stone, but in the very soul of Egypt. This is the story of Ramses the Great, a ruler whose power was as vast as the desert, and his daughter, Princess Bentanata, whose spirit was as luminous as the stars over the Nile. Our tale begins under the watchful eyes of the gods. In a kingdom shimmering with gold and splendor, majestic temples reached for the heavens, their walls chronicling the triumphs of a mighty empire. Ramses, Lion of Egypt, sat upon a throne of unparalleled authority. Yet, even for a living god, the whispers of dissent grew louder. Unrest stirred in the distant provinces like a sandstorm gathering on the horizon. The pharaoh, for all his strength, felt a tremor of uncertainty, a shadow he could not yet name. She was the calm in her father's storm, the quiet strength that balanced his thunderous might. As the sun bled crimson across the western desert, a discovery in the hallowed halls of Karnak sent ripples of fear through the royal court. The high priests, their faces grim, unveiled a prophecy hidden for centuries within a sealed chamber. The ancient papyrus spoke of a coming darkness, a supernatural cataclysm poised to swallow the kingdom whole. The prophecy was chillingly specific. Only by a sacred union could Egypt be saved. The blood of the king must join with the blood of the princess, it decreed, to forge a divine shield against the encroaching doom. The words echoed through the palace, twisting and turning with every retelling, to the courtiers and nobles. The prophecy's meaning seemed scandalously clear: a forbidden marriage between father and daughter. Rumors spread like wildfire, poisoning the air with suspicion and judgment. The very foundation of Mat, the divine order, seemed to tremble. How could the pharaoh, the guardian of all that is sacred, entertain such a transgression? The political turmoil Ramses had fought to contain now threatened to erupt within his own palace walls. Fueled by a prophecy no one truly understood. But Bentanata, ever the seeker of truth, refused to accept this grim interpretation. She knew in her soul that the gods did not speak in such literal, crude terms. While whispers and accusations filled the court, she retreated to the vast royal libraries, her fingers tracing the hieroglyphs on ancient, brittle scrolls. Day and night, she immersed herself in forgotten lore, searching for a deeper meaning, a hidden context that the panicked priests had overlooked. She sought the wisdom of Thoth, the god of knowledge, praying for clarity. And then she found it. Tucked away in a text about the earliest dynasties was the key. The prophecy spoke not of a physical marriage, but of a spiritual alchemy. The joining of blood was a metaphor for the unification of two distinct royal powers. the Pharaoh's temporal authority, and the princess's spiritual connection to the divine. It described a sacred ritual, a ceremony of immense power that required the king and his heir to merge their life forces, their Ka and Ba, into a single potent stream of divine energy. This was not a union of mortals, but a communion with the gods themselves, designed to create a protective ward around the entire nation. Armed with this revelation, Bentanata raced to her father. She laid the ancient scrolls before him, her voice steady and clear as she explained the true nature of the prophecy. Relief washed over Ramses's face, replacing the troubled lines of a king caught between duty and taboo. He saw not just the wisdom in his daughter's discovery, but the courage it took to challenge the fear that had gripped their people. The path was now clear. It was not a path of shame, but one of immense sacrifice and faith. Preparations began at once, under a sky thick with stars. The royal procession moved towards the inner sanctum of the great temple, their torches cutting through the profound darkness. This was a ritual not performed for millennia, a powerful magic drawn from the very birth of Egypt. They were two halves of a sacred whole. Following the ancient inscriptions, they began the rite. They raised their hands, palms facing each other, but not touching, a channel of pure energy crackling in the space between them. Golden light began to emanate from their bodies, swirling and merging into a blinding sphere of divine power. A malevolent force, a creeping shadow from the underworld, sought to devour the light of Egypt. But as the ritual reached its zenith, the sphere of light erupted from the temple, soaring into the heavens, and expanding into a shimmering golden canopy that stretched from the northern delta to the southern cataracts. The darkness recoiled, banished by a power it could not comprehend. The threat was repelled, broken against a shield forged by love, faith, and a deep understanding of the sacred mysteries. As dawn broke, a new light fell upon the land of Egypt. The kingdom was safe. Ramses and Bentanata stood exhausted but triumphant, their bond as father and daughter now eternally sanctified. There was no celebration, no grand proclamation. The true nature of their act was too sacred for public knowledge, a secret to be guarded by the temple walls for all time. The story of their spiritual union faded from history, becoming a whisper, a myth. The legend of the Pharaoh and his princess, who joined their souls to save their kingdom, was preserved only in the most hidden chambers, waiting for the sands of time to reveal its truth. It remains a testament to the idea that the greatest power lies not in armies or gold, but in the unbreakable bonds of family and the courage to seek a deeper truth. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the heart of ancient Egypt. If you are captivated by this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales from the annals of history. We'll see you in the next one.